Hi, Joe Clementi here, and thank you for joining us on this week's Sunday Motivation. I titled this one, Tend to Your Garden. Chances are where you find pessimism, unhappiness, and discontent, you'll find him or her surrounded by peers with like-minded views, opinions, and excuses. They will tell you why you too should feel doom and gloom, why your optimism is unwarranted, unnecessary, and unfounded. They practice the excuses so well that they become experts at closing themselves on mediocrity. How does the fear and uncertainty spoil the seeds of hope? Early on, they eagerly planted the new seeds of opportunity with modest optimism. The degradation of faith doesn't happen overnight, so what happened to them? At some point, a weed will sprout in their newly planted garden. In the beginning, the weeds are harmless and do little to hinder the growth of the newly planted seeds. In fact, the growth is so slight it appears as an insignificant sprout that blends in with its surroundings. The person thinks, well, it's a bit of an irritant, but it's harmless to my garden. Experience has taught them to ignore the weed and hope it grows tired and dries out. Sooner or later, their garden is so riddled with weeds that they never see the infestation take over. Some accept the weeds as a condition instead of an inhabitant that needs to be tended to. They find blame in everything else around them but the gardener. Gardens that are littered with excuses have the ability, if allowed, to contaminate other gardens beyond their boundaries. Poor gardeners love to share their wisdom and insight with willing participants. They are happy to provide shortcuts and methodology and philosophies. Management of the gardeners takes time, persistence, and nourishment, all of which requires a commitment to do the work ahead. The gardener has to show up consistently to pull the weeds of doubt, discontent, and uncertainty. The master caretaker must be capable of performing the most tedious of tasks day in and day out, when it seems to matter the least. High performance minded people take pride in their gardens. They pull the weeds of pessimism and negativity daily. High performance people search out high performance organizations. They look for similar minded people that create a culture of well manicured gardens that produce beautiful results. High performance people take pride in the gardener. High performance people seek out those with more robust gardens so they can find how to do it right. To all those poor performing gardeners who refuse to tend to your garden, take up roots somewhere else. For those that want more, for those that want to produce more, find a gardener who has the garden you desire and want, and do what they do. Remember, the garden is only as good as the person tending to it. This is Tend to Your Garden, and I am not your average Joe.